See you at school, young Atlas.
And was this supposed to be a test? What about the test? What, the test didn't even matter? He didn't kill Jim. So he failed the loyalty test, then, you're telling me. Like, we're supposed to care about that, right? That's gonna have serious repercussions. Like, Gunmar's gonna...
It is my honor.
Be perfectly fine with it.
If his heart is turned, we must know.
Yeah, Gunmar is evidently very forgiving. Apparently his evil organization is totally cool with their members failing tests of loyalty.
Take out the amulet!
My son! Father! You said the amulet would open the bridge!
The Trollhunter! The amulet won't work without him!
And it turns out they needed Jim alive anyways. Fantastic! But maybe Strickler did get some solid villaining done. He stole Jim's amulet. He actually got it. Jim doesn't have his armor or his sword. Maybe this is just the beginning of him reestablishing himself as a serious threat. And maybe Jim is being a smug little dink because he doesn't realize Strickler actually just rendered him completely powerless. Well, that sounds great.
Where are you?
I hate you. Are you serious? That was all just a setup so Jim could dramatically, impress a girl? I hope she thinks your armor is lame. After all of that, Jim doesn't even struggle to get the damn thing back. He just calls it and it flies back to him. He probably doesn't even know Bular and Strickler have it.
He still has the fake amulet. Nothing will protect him now.
He's starting to sound a bit desperate. Nothing will protect him now. Right? Bular? This was an evil plan, right? Right? No, I need to hear you say it! This kid! Just like when Bular tried to freak him out. Jim's just like, why, there you are, you crafty thing. Where have you been? How did that happen? Oh. He had to retrieve the thing himself when a gnome stole it. A gnome. But when the main villain gets his hands on it, no biggie, it just comes right back. And yes, you heard that right. Jim doesn't even get in trouble from anyone else for losing it. Like, that should have been a big deal. So while Strickler and Bular are sitting at home like chumps hoping Jim is thinking about them, at least one of them, Nomura, is actually out kicking Jim's ass and actually presenting the villains as some kind of threat.
The other amulet!
A fake!
You had the real one!
This is now the second time that the bad guys have actually had to tell Jim that they were the ones trying to manipulate him after it no longer matters.
Bular called you, young Atlas, to force this very moment.
I know it doesn't matter anymore, I just wanted you to know that was us.
The other amulet!
A fake!
Did you see that we took your amulet? We totally took it. Strickler totally got it from you. I mean, you've got it back now, obviously, it doesn't matter, but that was, that was us too. Let's move on. Episode 12.
If young Atlas won't open it for us, maybe he'll open it for you.
Strickler does actually start to pick up. He beats Jim at the Battle of Kellahead Bridge.
You disappoint me, when I had such high hopes for you.
He kicks at least as much ass as it takes for Jim to open the bridge.
Nothing can stop his return!
Well, it's cartoonish, but I'll take it. This is the first time he's seemed genuinely threatening and... Oh, come on! Dude, you gotta figure out a way to get around these arm locks. You just owned this kid in an epic sword battle. Like, has Jim discovered your ultimate weakness? Prepare for the reign of evil! Curses! Not juvenile human arm lock number 4! But really, it's pretty much just more plot service. The bridge is closed 2 seconds later, and I wonder if the show didn't start to realize that Strickler's motivations were getting a bit scraggly, because they actually addressed the whole Jim's mom thing.
Just between you and me, when Gunmar rules the surface, I'll do my best to look after your mother.
I'm sure you'll both be very happy. He's thinking he'll be able to keep her alive. Never mind happy. Never mind looked after. Just alive. In a world where his evil overlord Trollmaster desires to devour all humans. You're an idiot. Now, you know what? You're worse than an idiot. You're boring and irrelevant. Especially after Jim finally manages to kill Bular and seal Gunmar away again. Well, there goes the interesting jockeying for power dynamics. But technically, Bular's gone, so that should mean Strickler unhinged. Well, that sounds awesome!
You really think Strickler might come back?
After what went down, he'd be a fool to ever show his face again.
Oh my god, I hate you. Your friend just turned to you, looking for leadership and reassurance. And that's your answer. You piece of shit.
You really think Strickler might come back?
After what went down?
Like, it's really nice that you think you need to drag my stupendous victory through the dirt with all of your questions and negativity, but fine. We'll go over it again.
He'd be a fool to ever show his face again.
Strickler isn't here because he ran home crying like a little baby. Like, he has no evil bosses anymore. Like, what is he gonna do? Carry out his own evil plan? Like a fool? God. You know what? Jim is actually a perfectly fine character. Except when he's having anything to do with Strickler. He has like a doppelganger double. Because everything about Jim that has nothing to do with Strickler, he's a completely different character. He's this nice, nurturing, warm, thoughtful kid. Everyone else he's actually afraid of. Everything else he seems to consider rationally, including his own capabilities and limitations.
Because I really, really don't want to die. If I survive, I'm gonna die tomorrow.
But bring this guy into the conversation and he turns into a smug, punk-ass kid. And a sore winner who cares more about the fact that he technically won the battle instead of thinking ahead and anticipating threats to vulnerable people around him. In other words, a crummy hero whom the show is not holding to its own morals.
Let your fear keep you alive. Let his arrogance lead him astray.
And whose attitude is weakening the stakes and tensions of the entire show by undermining the threat of its antagonists. But I guess school-age kids everywhere can fantasize about beaking off to their teachers and step-parents. Anyway, let's see where Strickler's at. Yes, we find Strickler in a tropical jungle somewhere, apparently with a mind to resurrect another troll ally.
The infernal copula.
I'm sorry, why are you cowering?
My ring.
Did you forget how the ring worked? You put it on 2 seconds ago! Did you forget you're a troll? There's 2 of you even. You weren't even gonna try? Alright, either the charm works, or we both die.
Yield to me, for I wear the Inferna Copula.
For I just remembered what this thing does. You just showed your own assassin that your dominance over him depends entirely on a gimmicky charm. Strickler flinches now? Strickler doesn't flinch, he doesn't cower. He keeps his cool. He lets his grumpy boss lose his temper while he remains collected enough to catch the apple. But now he's a weak, quivering, cowardly villain. How have you fallen so far?
And you are mine.
No, stop with the maniacal laughter. You have to earn the maniacal laughter. Maniacal laughs are for villains in control, not villains who are hiding behind hokey cheat codes. Anyway, what's your plan?
Gunmar had his chance to rule. Now it's my turn. In this town, there is a boy, and this boy fancies a girl. A girl whose brother is being held in the Darklands. If the boy saves the child from the changeling nursery, he'll want to save them all. And it's my job to watch over my half-breed brethren and not let that happen.
Thank you for not making me narrate that.
Obviously, I could deal with him myself, but a man of my esteemed stature in this community can't do anything without arousing unwanted suspicion.
Oh my god, did you see that? Inside of one line. He just jumped from collected and conniving to unconvincing and lame. Who keeps grabbing the pen? Can I have the pen? Make him whine more. It's scarier.
You're afraid.
I am not.
That is why you require Angorot.
Just remember who's in charge here.
It's me. In case my quivering breathlessness gave it away.
I bear the ring. You answer to me.
Why don't you respect my authority? Just listen to how imposing I am.
When the boy is finished, you will have your freedom.
He's still trying to kill Jim. Like, Bular was an idiot, wasn't he?
I believe he has affection for the
child.
But, affection is a spectrum, and right now we're just kind of floating ambiguously between steak knife to the face and I hired an assassin. So, on with the evil scheme. Now, in order not to arouse suspicion, he kills the principal in the most inconspicuous way possible. Luckily, no one spotted that from space. Takes his job and is now much more influential at school, and we all remember how much of a pain in Jim's ass that never was.
What is he doing here?
Well, making you look like an idiot, for one.
But you said you'd be a fool to ever come back.
My dear friend, I seem to have taken your gratuitous empty boast as pure fact. Why have you forsaken us? What do you think? Like, you didn't follow up? You didn't investigate? You didn't track him down and finish the job? You didn't do anything? You didn't even wonder aloud? Gosh, I hope he's not doing something dastardly like, villains do. No, you just sat on your ass and told everyone that he would be far too intimidated by the size of your giant sword that he would never show his face again. And now you're standing here covered in mud looking like a jackass, wondering what went wrong. Our hero. Now, episode 16, Jim gets sent to the principal's office.
Principal Strickler. You have a lot of nerve showing your face around here, Strickler.
That's right, it's the return of Jim's punk kid, insecure, posturing, jackass doppelganger that only shows up when Strickler's around. Jim, what shitheadedness can we expect from you today?
Your education has just begun.
Oh, good. Maybe I'm a slow learner, because I can't figure out why you'd come back after I dropped a bomb all over your big parade.
Look how frazzled he is. Strickler, you don't even have to do anything. Just sit back, let this kid bluster his way into admitting that you completely caught him off guard, and he's clearly reeling from his own overconfidence. And
I'm in a position to make your life truly miserable.
my client would like to plead villain incompetence. You shouldn't have to tell him that! I'm in a position to make your life truly miserable, which you would know if it were working. Shit.
I could take you out right now.
And I could do far worse.
Stop letting yourself get so bent out of shape over a mouthy kid. Sit down, shut up, for God's sakes compose yourself, and stop throwing back his empty threats!
I could take you out right now.
And I could do far worse. Are you ready for that?
Doesn't even sound like you know what that is. Are you ready for that? That thing that I can do, I swear? I still cannot fathom what purpose it serves to have your 16-year-old hero talk to your villain like that. Because let's go back to the last scene. Jim is telling his friends about spotting Anger Rot, Strickler's assassin, watching him from afar right before he's attacked by a monster.
Talk about creepy. I know, it was like he was studying me.
Sure, Jim, that's awfully rational of you.
It was like he was studying me.
Yeah, I bet he was studying me. He better study up. Would have ended that guy. Be a fool to show his face. I could have dropped the bomb all over his big parade and all those other shit-headed things I've said because I'm Jim. But that's important. Anger Rot is more threatening when Jim feels uneasy and uncertain.
When I'm prepared to strike, he will know.
For instance, he could be uneasy about the fact that Strickler killed the original principal and took his place. But Jim doesn't even know he did that.
You have a lot of nerve.
He's not concerned about it. They're not going to investigate it. I mean, we know, but Jim apparently doesn't need to know. Why? Because that would feasibly actually freak him out? We can't have that. But to be fair, the show does seem to be aware that he handled that poorly.
I should have pulled daylight on him right then and there.
I mean, I totally could have just, dropped him right there. He would have been just dead. That's the kind of thing I would do. It's a good thing the show doesn't hold me accountable for any of the shit I say. Just once! I'd like Strickler to actually do something to freak this kid out. Make him take you seriously. Just shut him up, please.
Did you bring the charm I require?
A woman's fate will be tied to yours.
Now, regardless of whether this is a stupid-ass plan, Strickler does hesitate in essentially putting a spell on Barbara. Apparently, he likes her. Genuinely.
I really like spending time with you.
Which is good. You can use that as a conflict. I don't think you will, but you could. See, if we had this date scene here without the spell, we could read into it that Strickler is conflicted between doing anything that would hurt Barbara, like killing her son, and carrying on with his evil plans. That's an intact conflict. And we'll be checking back with anti-hero Strickler later on in the second half. And now it's over to villain Strickler. He's live with Jim, the chairman of shitheadedness Strickler. Just what does this spell do?
Any harm you do to me will be done to your mother.
Oh my god. You did it!
What strange magic. What happens to me happens to her.
You've won! He's won!
So, what will it be?
What do you mean, what'll it be? Get him! He's sitting right there. Kill him? Maybe? This isn't up to him! He is now totally incapable of fighting back! Finish it! Transform and... roll out! Where are you going? Get back here and be a villain! Kill him! You traveled to a jungle across the world to get a charm to hire an assassin to kill this kid. You finally make it so that he can't fight back, and you just leave him and drive away. What's going on? Is this Strickler's purpose now? Just to make Jim mad? Engelrot's the villain. Scaring Jim and generating tension and intrigue is his job. Strickler's just here so Jim can make a grr face. Make a grr face, Jim. Good boy. I mean, presumably, he feels he has to hide behind a charm because he honestly thinks this kid will kill him.
I expected this time would come.
Me one good reason not to do away with you right now.
The protagonist is more of a threat to the villain than the villain is to the protagonist. Let's just think about that for a second. So much so that he has to take magical, shitty plot device conflict derailing precautions in order to protect himself. You know, that's good. I was worried that Jim would be conflicted about killing Strickler because his mother has feelings for him, and he's supposed to care about his mother and her feelings.
Do you know when I was old enough to ask about Dad? But most of all, how much he hurt you when he left. I would never leave you like that.
So you won't mind if I just kill your new boyfriend, right? That's cool with that. You'll be fine, right? You're used to this kind of thing. And again, the show just handed him a get out of introspection free card. He just gets to conveniently hiss at the spell. May I suggest the scapegoat? It's fresh. Villains aren't supposed to challenge their protagonist. That's not their job. Unless challenging him actually means throwing him no-brainer softballs, and we're supposed to be impressed that he didn't kill his mother? Ooh, how noble. Seriously? That was a test? Strickler is simply not allowed to put Jim in a position of vulnerability. He doesn't actually have the upper hand, even when he does. He just drives away, and Jim is left scowling with the knowledge that the binding spell actually just confirmed every arrogant boast he's ever made. And that, yeah, he could kill Strickler if he wanted, and Strickler knows it. That's all that matters, right, show? You gave me no choice, boy. You're clearly better than me. In every way. You're stronger, much more handsome. And your sword is just so big. I mean, my back seat can't even contain it. It's all up in the front seat. It's just... I had no choice but to hide behind this stupid charm like a quivering wet child. And I've never even had a real friend.
The Janus Order has sent me.
Episode 17.
They are starting to question your leadership.
We find out a bit more about what the hell Strickler's plan actually is.
Eliminating the Trollhunter is but the first part of my machinations.
Well, I would hope so. Guess someone realized that 1,000-year-old troll spending all of his time and resources trying to kill a kid is a bit lame.
A new police chief in Bordeaux, a state senator in Boise. The Janus Order is growing. Together, we who were called impure will one day control the world, and the world won't even know it.
What? No one cares. That is the most boring world domination scheme I've ever seen.
Without Gunmar, There is a vacant throne for the taking.
And who will fill it, mein Freund?
Yes, if only the protagonist knew or cared. Angor, I think Strickler needs a lesson on what villaining looks like. Would you mind?
I will not give the sweet release of death. Not yet.
Now, that is scary.
I will relish this hunt.
God, just look at him freak this kid out. That is just so refreshing. Strickler, are you watching this?
I received word from a mutual acquaintance, Mr. Rott. He said you had lost something rather valuable the other day.
I'll get it back.
Sure you will.
No. You're bragging about evil deeds you didn't even do. Dude, you just pulled a gym. Seriously, Mystique is so important and you have absolutely no grasp of it whatsoever.
Oh, and I'm on my way to another lunch date with your mother. It's a shame you won't be able to join us.
What? What am I watching? What are you doing, show? Like, did children write this?
It's a shame you won't be able to join us.
Yes, you won't be able to join us because you'll be at school because you're a child. And I'm an adult. An adult who would be kissing your mother. Nina, Nina, Nina. And I formally apologize for not putting the cringe warning. This is your formal cringe warning because I don't know about you. I need one because it gets so much worse.
It's a shame you won't be able to join us. You don't happen to have a breath mint on you, do you?
It is at this moment you might be wondering, what show am I watching anymore? I don't understand how you had something this good and how you let this happen. He's now a cartoon villain in every worst conceivable sense of the word. And the show tries to backpedal.
I have a breath mint.
See? That didn't happen. That was all Jim's fantasy.
Congratulations.
Absolutely not. Nice try. You were beyond the point of no return by having this scene exist at all in any form. Jim being 100% justified in hating this relationship is the fantasy. You are indulging every kid's hatred of their step-parents and teachers in one go. And there are zero consequences, zero accountability, zero character development, zero storytelling. It's just pure indulgence. Strickler was interesting. He was fun. He was reasonably complex. And you've trashed a perfectly good character so you can tell us that Jim is really, really mad and wants to punch him in the face. Thanks, we knew that. And there is a crucial question that has been bugging me the entire show that you guys are not asking of this kid. Does he actually think this idiot will hurt his mother? Or is he just resentful of the relationship?
If I ever see you near her again...
Is he protecting people and being heroic? Or is he jealous and being a petty douchebag? Like, what are we supposed to do with this scene? Are you telling us that this guy is actually a two-faced bastard and literally 4 minutes from now he's gonna be...
Here I am on a date, going on about Jim's father. I really don't know how to do these things.
You're doing just fine.
Well, which is it? You're telling us that this is legitimate? It's not a ruse? Then why do we need this?
You don't happen to have a breath mint.
Why is this show keeping Jim safely away from the legitimacy of this relationship? If that's in fact what you're going with. Why, so Jim can stay a raging, possessive asshole? That's important, is it? Like, did Strickler even need to be in this season? Was he just awkwardly inserted and this is what we've got? Because keeping your villain around for the sole sake of just provoking your teenage protagonist's delicate hormonal rage? That's not a good reason. So we have to have two-faced Strickler. We have Jim's petty arch-nemesis, and we have the morally ambiguous anti-hero Strickler over here. This is what we've got.
Bye.